shy. Come on, we can do louder than that, guys.
Hi guys, my name's Claire. I'm a superstar consultant and joined the Scentsy bandwagon back in 2017. I stumbled across a Facebook ad about the Scentsy opportunity and took the lead with very little knowledge around the product. My fiance Nathan and I have a mortgage together, living in Perth northern suburbs, and have a little girl named Ali. My full-time job is being a mum and with my side hustle as a Scentsy consultant. My reason for joining was so unique. My partner Nathan, whom I'd started dating in 2007, had a motorbike accident in 2014. He was laying out in a paddock in Perth Hills for several hours unconscious from roughly 5 p.m. the night before, where he'd left his mates to come back home to me, however, had come off his motorbike just around the corner from his friend's home, metres away from the road, and landed in a paddock hidden by tall grass. My gut wasn't sitting right all night, frantically calling every friend I had of his in my phone and still nowhere to be found. Come middle of the night, I convinced myself he was with the one person I couldn't reach. Nathan's phone was at home, so I couldn't contact him direct. There's so much more to how everything panned out, but long story short, luckily the owners of the property had decided the following morning it was the day to cut back the grass. Nathan was found, police was summoned, and ambulance to the scene, and Nathan was flown up in a helicopter to Royal Perth Hospital. He was soon after induced into a coma due to bleeding on the brain and was in ICU for over a week. Weaned off the medication about a week later to rise from his unconscious state. Unfortunately, he remained in a coma for the next 2 months. This is when I truly converted to the belief in the law of attraction, aka the power of thought. Although I was full of anger, angst and upset throughout this time, I still remained optimistic and only focused on the little light shed of possibilities, projecting over the outweighing unlikeliness of him ever waking up to likely living a very dependent lifestyle. Fast forward through being his carer for years after, helping him with his incontinence, facing my fear of needles to inject him with blood thinners, poor guy, and being his voice as his next of kin. During the 2 months of him in his comatose state, being by his side every single day when I felt I just couldn't face another day once again, where another week had passed and I was still unable to converse with him, let alone receive a cuddle and kiss from him when I gave it. Supporting him in believing he will get through this, wearing a smile every time I was in his presence to provide that sense of calm. His injury led to a catastrophic brain injury, however he did wake up from his coma eventually and excelled in his rehabilitation in leaps and bounds across the first several years, absolutely astonishing all medical specialists who'd worked alongside him from the get-go. 2017, right before I joined Scentsy, I just invested in my own home, a mortgage. Nathan and I had a trial at home living arrangement after spending over 2 years in hospitals and rehabilitation centre. Sadly, it didn't work due to his erratic and unstable emotions at the time. I'd felt a sense of failure, however, I knew we needed to persevere and times would get better. I'd already had full warning from medical staff that a long and challenging road were ahead of us, which I lived in denial for years to come and chose to embrace and live in each moment, to think positive and know it was all going to be okay. So 2017, I joined Scentsy for the pure purpose in having a side hustle to my full-time job, so I had extra money to invest in alternate medicines to support Nathan's brain health and function. Little did I know of the amazing opportunities ahead of me, from the feeling of being lonely, forcing myself to step away from seeing my partner every single day and finding something else to fill in my downtime. I discovered a beautiful community in my sponsor, Carly Vardell's team group, and felt so supported and inspired. This was only the beginning. Carly was and still is amazing at providing countless training and has been a true inspiration to whose footprints I want to follow. Carly wasn't always my direct sponsor, but she's always been in my corner cheering me on, which is a big reason why I'm here tonight in front of you, lovely lot. I've developed on so many levels from a business and personal perspective, more than I ever dreamed of. I had to regrettably step away from Scentsy in 2019 to 2020 due to life pressures at the time, mostly around Nathan's circumstances, but came back on board soon after to join this exciting journey that I was missing and longing for. Late 2020, I fell pregnant when Nathan and I were blessed with our darling baby girl, Ali, in June 2021. My mindset changed at this point. I knew deep down Scentsy was going to be my buffer income alongside my maternity leave payments during my mat leave. Little did I know that I would not be returning to my full-time job, instead would continue to invest any available time into my Scentsy business next to being a stay-at-home mummy. Nathan's and my Centrelink wasn't cutting the mustard, so my drive was the longing for wanting to be there to witness my daughter's milestones, to be the main influence to her during her first years, as well as being present to support and encourage Nathan on his continued and evolving rehabilitation. I had never in my wildest dreams thought this lifestyle of leading a stay-at-home mummy working life were on the cards for me. However, hands down, I've found working my Scentsy business really does allow my once impossible dream to live at home with my daughter, to watch her grow and blossom, all whilst making financial ends meet. A wise owl, my sponsor and star director Carly Bartle once told me, to be successful you need to show up every day, during the highs and the lows. This has been an emotional roller coaster for me. I have had days, too many to count, where I've felt the wrath of overwhelm and self-doubt, but I've allowed myself the grace to not make any irrational decisions in the heat of the moment and just know deep down that tomorrow is a new day. Because isn't that just exciting to not know what tomorrow will bring to us and the new opportunities that are available right in front of us, we just have to reach out and grab them. I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction, that the thoughts we have are projected out into the universe and come back to us tenfold. Consistency is absolutely key. To show up every damn day, to push ourselves through those moments of discomfort and self-doubt. Riding that wave can be so hairy, yes, I said hairy, but truly that is when the magic happens. Juggling a life where I am the sole income for my little family, on occasion managing my partner's team of support and appointments, as well as supporting him as an individual, managing my daughter's schedule, having that work and home life balance, along with managing my business from sales and providing quality customer service to supporting and guiding my teamies. All of this is by no means easy, but it does bring me so much joy and satisfaction to feel accomplished, knowing I'm inspiring others and demonstrating to others, and most importantly to my daughter, that it is possible to follow your dreams, to reach for the stars, because the sky is the limit. It truly comes down to how much you want this, your drive and motivation to really make your dreams come true. I feel it's so important to be rawly authentic, to allow your personality and excitement to shine through everything you do, to express how much others inspire you and aim toward inspiring others, to generate genuine relationships with people, and to take the time to socialize outside of just talking Scentsy. The day I made the decision back in 2021, when I decided this journey were going to be more than an income buffer, was the day I started to see my path towards success shift right in front of my eyes. I started being more consistent, being present day in and day out, and my business flourished for it. I hit a bump in the road mid last year where I realized this job isn't all about sales and bringing smiles to all my customers through these beautiful products, because they really do sell themselves, and making people laugh, because being a bit silly and sharing my humour wherever I can is a strong value of mine. I realised I have the potential to inspire and motivate others to do what I'm doing, and that in itself is such an honour and privilege. To strike others in that way, it truly is. It gives me that sense of belonging, that feeling of being wanted and appreciated. That feeling is something out of this world. Now, for those pesky little nerves, that inner voice of self-doubt and belief of failure does and will always show its ugly face, but to push through those moments, because tomorrow is a new day. And if others can do it, then so can I. I walk with optimism in one hand, along with persistence and determination in the other. I plug myself into training myself often, which is watching inspirational consultants and sharing their stories and how their systems in operating their business work. Carly Bartle, Chloe Cox and Christina Stainbrook, to name a few. I've adopted some of their processes toward leading a successful business of my own. Carly in particular has taught me so much in the importance of owning a scalable system. The impact time blocking can have on managing a happy and healthy business and home life, which is the fine balancing act. However, by implementing a realistic schedule where what works for me and my family, to focus on specific areas with assigned tasks each day, I now feel more in control and as if I almost have this gig down packed. It's still a work in progress, but by golly, I'm always one to travel at full steam, and 2024 will be the year that I unrushed myself. There's no such thing as a Scentsy emergency. It is so important to me to set and honour my working hours and respect those boundaries for my own sanity and for my family. I've always been a bit of a workhorse, but it's so important to slow down and smell the roses, to invest in regular self-care activities even if you feel you can easily go without, because it will eventually get the better of you if you don't look after yourself, and you may end up living with resentment. One important self-care routine for me is I love to start my day with singing and dancing around the house with my daughter Ali. The smiles it brings to our faces, it really sets me and my family up for a good day ahead. It's important to me to not be consumed with just work, to allow precious time for my family to create new memories. I love the story about the waiter at the coffee shop. He goes around serving customers. Asking each if they would like a coffee. If a customer says no, the waiter isn't going to stand there in shock, horror and disbelief. He does not take it personally, he simply moves on and offers the next customer a coffee. The point is, you're not going to die if you get a no. In fact, just ask and listen for their reason. It may be a no, not right now. Make it a game of it and challenge yourself to get as many no's as you can. You are bound to get some yeses. My biggest tip to you all is be real and authentic. Don't be spammy or salesy. Create genuine conversations, non-Scentsy related. As well, if I don't hit incentives, it doesn't discourage me from continuing my business. It just means that I shot for the moon and landed amongst the stars. My business will still benefit from all of my efforts. Now, I'd love to wrap it up with an inspirational quote which lives on my bedroom wall and has for many years. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. Quote, Buddha. I hope my speech truly motivates and inspires you to have faith in yourself, because if I can do it, you can too.